Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today we're going to be taking a look at our first of our interactive cards using Fawn products. The first one we're going to look at is the Magic Color Slider. And I am also using the Hoppy Easter mini stamp set. I'm not using the dies because we don't need to die cut those. I pulled out a piece of the Fawn perfectly plaid paper pad as well. All the dies in the color slider set are there so that you can just put this together really quickly. This is a super easy set to use. This is for the main part of the mechanism. Where the little tab is where the window is going to be on the front side of the card. Die cut that, and I'm using white glitter paper here. I will link to all the products that I use down below. I'm going to actually play a whole lot of music today because I unfortunately have a migraine, but I did want to get this card video and the blog post out and published today, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done too. I left some mistakes in here so you can see that you can go back and fix your mistakes. Relatively easy doing that even with this card. Couple things that I will note while I'm working on this. You will use Stays On ink for your acetate for the cover of this card, and if you're using a clear stamp, a photopolymer stamp, don't use the Stays On ink cleaner. Just use your regular cleaner and like a microfiber cloth and clean your stamp really well 1 or 2 times, and that will take the Stays On ink off. It's probably going to stain your stamp, but that's no big deal. But don't use the Stays On ink cleaner. It can ruin your stamps. It can cause some pitting because it's a solvent based cleaner. The other thing that I will mention is that to use some really strong double-sided adhesive or glue. If you use glue on this, you will need to set your pieces aside and let them completely dry before you use you actually put everything together. When you cut out a piece of acetate like I'm doing here, sandwich it in between just some plain old typing paper so that it doesn't mark the acetate sheet from the cutting plates, because you're putting a lot of pressure on it, so it just keeps it from getting marked up from the cut lines on your cutting plates. If you don't use plain white cardstock, or even if you're not using your usual cardstock that you would make a card out of for the holder mechanism here, you will need to cut an extra white panel out of your usual cardstock to put on the inside of it so you can stamp your image and color it. I used Copic markers, and I'm also using some really super strong double-sided adhesive here from scrapbook.com, and this is like 1/8 of an inch. It's perfect for this. It fits on the brace part that goes on the bottom of the card perfectly, so you don't have to use liquid adhesive. You can hop over to scrapbook.com and pick up the 1/8 inch double-sided adhesive roll. It tears very easily. It sticks great, and it's kind of like stick-it adhesive, where it doesn't completely seal until it's been left there and pushed down, so you have a minute or two to move stuff around if you need to. So also, when you're going and putting your stamped images in, to me it was a lot easier when I've seen these kinds of cards made previously. I've seen that the acetate piece was stamped first, and then the inside piece was stamped. Well, it was a whole lot easier for me to go ahead and put this together and stamp everything using my MISTI to make sure that it lined up. Also, I've seen where this piece right here, the brace for the edge of it to keep the slider channel in place, to keep this part in place, I've seen where they put this at the top first and then adhere it down, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Instead, I lined up the bottom corners first and then lined up the top and pushed it down in the middle, and that worked really, really well for me. And as you can see, I just held it down with some tape so it didn't move around on me. Just some washi tape on that. I slide out this little slider piece there, and then I'm going to stamp my bunny rabbit image, and I added images on the inside, not just the outside. And what I mean by that is I added extra images, so it was it was more of a surprise. I'm going to see where this bunny rabbit sits in here, and ta-da, I found my place where I want it. And then I'm just going to stamp this. I'm stamping the inside with jet black ink and the outside with Stays On ink for the acetate piece. So now I'm going to go ahead and play some music, and all the products I used in this card are going to be listed down below. And of course, if you have any questions or comments or anything, just let me know and leave it below, and I will definitely follow up with you. Or you can email me at hello@jillcameroncreations.com. Also, head over to my blog so you can subscribe to my newsletter and keep track of new blog posts as they come out, and videos and such. I thank you for watching today, and again, I'm so sorry that my head is hurting, but I really wanted to get this video out for y'all today. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.